Have you ever had an idea that you're like, this is the best idea ever? But just even thinking about it for a few seconds, you're like, this is too much money, too much work, and honestly, just way too complicated for me to be able to figure this out all on my own. I just barely had one of those ideas, and that's why I'm making this video. So for those of you that don't know, welcome to Creating Cash Flow. This is a channel and a show where I take my portfolio from $0 to $1 million a month in passive income earnings, and I share everything that I do along the way right here. So if you want to follow along and if you want to know more, it really helps the channel out if you hit that like button, and also, of course, if you subscribe. So thank you and welcome to all the new subscribers. We've popped like an extra 100 subscribers in the past couple weeks, which has grown exponentially since my first video. So thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you here, and I hope this video is helpful. So about that great idea. So the other day, or maybe it was even a month or so ago, I was just looking at electric vehicles like EV cars, Teslas, the Volt, and really everybody's coming out with electric vehicles now. Even Hummer has their Hummer electric vehicle, which is pretty ridiculous. I got to ride in one and it was super crazy cool. But with that, and living in a city where almost everyone street parks, you can park underground, but it's expensive and it's not as convenient as just having your car right outside. You have to go find a garage, and like for me, my garage is about a 12 to 15 minute walk. So anytime I want to get in my car or access my car, it's at least a 15-minute commitment to go walk to go pick up my car, and then I have to drive back to my apartment to load it up with whatever I need. Anyway, sometimes it's nice to be able to park your car right outside. And with all of these electric vehicles, living in a big city, whether you park on the side of the road or you park in a garage, the one thing that is just lacking insanely is electric vehicle chargers. So I've been thinking a lot about like a company that is totally gonna win and totally going to kill it over the next 10 to 15 years is someone that can figure out how to get people's cars charged when they aren't there. So basically a solution for charging electric vehicles that doesn't take any time or effort away from the person who actually owns the electric vehicle. So that was kind of my first thought. The second thought along the same lines was, with these EV cars being so high tech, isn't it a little ridiculous that we have to plug them in for hours on end while they charge? And I know the supercharger, you can charge it up like 70% in a matter of a half hour, whatever those stats are. I don't know exactly, but I know that it takes a pretty long time to charge your car. At least when you have a normal gas tank and you go to the gas pump, you can fill up in just a couple of minutes and you're already ready to go again, which is, you know, the allure of having just a normal gas vehicle these days, especially on road trips. So I'm like, how on earth are people like buying into this great tech that you have to go plug in? Like your phone, you used to have to plug it in. Your computer, you used to have to plug that in. I mean, you still got to plug it in, but the battery life on it has gotten so much better that I rarely have mine plugged in. My phone, you plug it in at night, whatever, you don't even have to plug it in anymore. What you have is Bluetooth or wireless charging. I actually don't even know if it's through Bluetooth, but you just stick your phone right on the charger and it wirelessly charges. So it got me thinking, why can we not wirelessly charge these vehicles? Like, can someone please just invent that? Well, you may be able to tell where this video is going, but I recently found out about WeFunder. My last video was about my first experience spending $1,000 on WeFunder.com. I invested in a company called Here.co, which is a short-term, whatever, it doesn't matter. That was my last video. You can check that out if you want. But what this video is about, it's about not the platform and investing on WeFunder, but WeFunder is a cool platform that allows investors to go find entrepreneurs or teams of entrepreneurs that have these ideas, these great ideas that they want to bring to life. And maybe to some degree, it's already come to life, but they need funding, they need investment help. And if you even have as little as $100, that is enough to help these companies start getting off the ground and for you to become an investor in a cool startup that you are like, if I had more time, more money, maybe more know-how, I would start this company. Here you can get involved from the ground floor, and really all you need is $100. Okay, so now that we finally have some silence here in the city and we are on the WeFunder website, I want to introduce to you HEVO, H-E-V-O. I don't know if that stands for something, but I had a friend reach out who we like to talk about investments all the time, and he told me about this company. I was like, you know what? This is cool. I'm interested. I've actually been thinking about this, as I already said, over the past few months or even over the past month, and I'm like, wow, maybe this is just manifesting and there's been more opportunities all along the route, but here we are on WeFunder looking at HEVO. So let's check out this video together. Okay, so it looks like it comes with 5 different parts: the power pad, guardian detection, power station, battery adapter, vehicle pad. So we don't really know what those are yet. Engineered for commercial scale, and it's compliant, so that's great. Designed for manufacturing and assembly, which this is actually very important. I have tried to manufacture my own thing. Well, I mean, I've lightly looked into it, and it's really complicated. You need to have your specs very organized. It's complicated. I'll just leave it at that. So this, I know it's a vague, broad statement, but if this is true, you know, that is actually a huge win for manufacturing. All right, so they have this scale. Over here, we have end-to-end efficiency percentage going from 80% to 100%. And then down here, you have 1 kW, kilowatt, going from, this is basically the power level. So at a low power level up to a high power level, you can see how the HEVO AC Grid Connect, which I'm guessing is alternating current Grid Connect, compares against the AVG plugin alternating current, and then the HEVO Direct Current Grid Connect compares with the AVG plugin direct. So we can see here that HEVO has a better grid to battery efficiency. It's still charging the car at an efficient rate, so that's good. All right, so the total system price. Actually, let me go back here because I caught something. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the total system price is less than $2,500 for this whole thing for high volume customers. So I guess if you're selling to a government or a parking garage, or maybe even a company that has a huge parking lot, and so you have these people buying a high volume, we'll have to figure out what high volume is, but you also have to start thinking about the consumer and imagining maybe this is just the first step for HEVO, as they want to start more B2B, and they're really looking for high volume customers anyway, whereas a consumer customer, I don't know if it's 5,000, however much it ends up being, if you just want to buy one and stick it in your garage, what does that mean? So this is a good example that shows you actually how it works. So you know how I was talking about EV charging without the cord. So basically you have this pad that sits on the ground in your garage or wherever, and you just drive over it, and then they have another little responder that sits on your battery, and as you pull over, they recognize each other and it automatically starts charging. So we can kind of hopefully see that here, right here. So that's the graphic where it's like, here's your battery, here's your responder, and here's your charger. So commercial partner for Oak Ridge National Laboratory. So they already have one commercial partner, which is good, but the technology, the idea of it is really smooth and seamless. The range anxiety killer app for EV driving. Turn-by-turn navigation to these charging stations. You can reserve the station. All right, looks like they're getting some love. All right, so what does this say? John, wireless charging will bridge the gap between different EV manufacturers. So that's another good point that I haven't brought up yet, which is Some of these EV manufacturers have different plugins, so a Tesla plugin could be different from other cars. So rather than having to only rely on charging stations that fit the plug of your car, what you're able to do is put this on any battery and charge it. So that way, no matter where you find your nearest charging station, well, hopefully this opens up more charging stations for you. All right, charge different models without having to buy expensive equipment. Okay, that's kind of along the same line. All right, next up, I see a wireless system becoming very beneficial as stations will be able to be used more frequently, take up a smaller footprint on parking lots. This will allow joint service by gas. What? This will allow joint service by gas and EV vehicles and not have specialty parking spaces per type of vehicle. Yeah, that is kind of ridiculous. Why do the EV vehicles always get the premium parking? Why? I also think as far as damaged EV stations go, there is less of a chance of damage for charging ports and cabling. All of our testers preferred the wireless experience. This is a mature technology that meets the key third-party requirements. Okay, that's good. Our citizens don't have driveways or garages. Okay, this is true. Local government official in the EU. Basically, like I already mentioned, if they're going to be buying this in bulk, potentially a government would be investing in this and putting these all over the side of the road, and they're not going to be able to, deal with all these cords and figure out all of that, where it could be much easier to have parking lots or spaces on the side of the road that have these on the ground. I'm assuming they can get run over and it's not that big of a deal, at least at low speeds, but this is a fact in New York City as well. We want charging everywhere, but not wires everywhere. Amen. So here's the future. The future is now. HEVO. All right, so that is HEVO, basically wireless charging for electric vehicles. And I don't have to bring all the money to the table, all the know-how, any background, anything. It's just a solution that I think is going to be needed over the next 5, 10, 15 years as all of these companies move towards electric vehicles. So I come over here and I see the first goal is already hit. They've raised $2.1 million from 349 investors. And before this video, I actually already consulted with my CPA, my accountant. I got the green light to throw $1,000 in on HEVO. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, invest. So here's the legal stuff. I agree. Invest, fees, 20 bucks. You can't get around this. We talked about that last time. And I am completing my investment. All right, got the confetti. Boom. Let's rock and roll. So if I can come back to HEVO. Okay, so coming back here to the very beginning, you can see some of the highlights is they have $2 million in orders with automakers, fleets, and charging customers around the world. So that is a really good sign. People are interested in this. People are buying it. People are already spending their money here. And just another kind of fun thing is we got a US veteran here that is the founder and CEO. I love that. Anyway, that is my quick overview on HEVO. If you know about another company that you think is solving this problem even better, especially when it comes to terms of people living in big cities like New York City. I thought about getting an electric vehicle, but it just doesn't make sense. I have to go find a garage that has EV charging. Like, it's a nightmare out here. And frankly, I have no idea why people have Teslas and EVs in New York City, other than the hype, but there's no way it's for convenience. So, yep, if you have any other thoughts, any other companies that I should be looking at that I could be throwing some money into, let me know. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. Thank you for taking your valuable time to watch this video. Again, I hope it was helpful. And as always, stay grounded in gratitude and remember that what you focus on grows. Take it easy. See ya.